Hey ladies, happy MoonDay Musings. I am Sierra Sullivan and I'm super excited to flatten my hair. No, I have a little sticky outy. Um, how's everybody doing on this beautiful Monday? And I'm excited to be back from Hawaii officially. If you caught my video last week, you'll know that there was some profound pussy magic happening there with the power of Amrita and meeting my new dear sister Dakota Chanel and all of the ways that we ritualized Amrita and just did some really, really sacred, potent medicine, medicine and magic. And today I'm very excited to share something with you. I'm going to share it in a minute because actually right before I hopped on here with all of you, I got a text from a dear friend of mine, somebody that has been in my women's community for a very long time, over 10 years. She was part of the Ray Magazine movement and she's just been a dear sister. She's been watching me. She's been part of my Fun, Fabulous, and Feminine series of workshops and my programs and then my pussy churches. And she's just been a real divine sister along the path. And it was so exciting. She literally texted me and said, oh, by the way, when you were in Hawaii, I actually unexpectedly initiated herself into the Amrita sisterhood, which is so amazing that she would be telling me that and having activated that part of herself in, all this time that I was in Hawaii, activating more of the Amrita codes. So that was super exciting. I'm really happy for her. And she's somebody that has received a Pussy Oracle reading from me. And so she's been initiated, and it just feels really good to know that her magic and access to her sacred waters was unlocked while I was deep in a sacred water process in Hawaii. So that was super exciting. So I just had to share that. I am present to my promise a few videos in here that I want to start at the beginning of my story and share all the major fun, fabulous, crazy, wild, stranger than fiction truths of this journey that I've been on for the last almost 3 years since I got initiated and before I got initiated into the service that I'm now providing as a Pussy Oracle, as a reclamation ritual leader, and as somebody that teaches secrets of the Yoniverse. And I'm finding that I'm having a really hard time going back to tell the story because every time I hop on here to do these MoonDay Musings, something new has emerged, something really profound and powerful that I want to share with you because it's current. So I'm going to share a current event. And then hopefully next week, things will calm down and I'll be able to get to the beginning of my story because I actually shared a lot of my story with a dear sister who I'm going to be co-creating a red tent with this weekend, which I'm going to talk to you about all in a second because this is the exciting news I want to share, the current event. And I realized that, my story needs to be told. There's so much profound magic that has been happening as I've been saying yes to opening up to pussy. Just a little quick teaser too is one of the things I keep talking to you all about is pussy money magic. Well, I just manifested through dear friends of mine a resort in Baja, Mexico that Rano and I are going to move to. So some of you might have seen my video about how I manifested the house that I'm in now. Well, next level for me was manifesting a resort for reals from an angel investor that's willing to fund the whole operation and let us just do what we want on the resort and give us 2 years to get it up to a financial model where then we can take over the resort or we can try it at a different venue. What? Oh my God, right? Manifested a resort. So I guess I'll be living in Mexico for a while. I'm excited about that. We're going to go check that out in a couple of weeks and lock that deal in, but it's already in process and happening, and lots of great community members are going to be joining forces with us to co-create. And one of the first things we're going to build down there is a women's temple. Woohoo! And they want to call it the Pussy Temple, although they'll probably have a different name. Anyway, so that's super exciting. So I just want to share with you ladies the power of pussy and how it actually translates into real-time, tangible creations in the world. So the other thing that I want to share with you, which is really exciting, if any of you have ever read the Red Tent book, by a woman named Anita Diamante. I think that's how you say her last name. She's a historical a historian and also a fiction writer. And I only read this book like 2 years ago. I'd been hearing about it, and then I found out it was fiction, and I thought, I don't really read fiction. I'm more of a nonfiction kind of girl. But I finally read it, and because it was circulating through my mother-in-law and my husband's family, everybody was reading it. They were talking about it. I was like, all right, I'm next. So I read the book 2 years ago, and it was awesome. Like, it was a really profound and powerful story. I was riveted, and I was shocked at what happens in the story, and I was touched by, the power of the mystery and the women gathering, and just, it was so inspirational. But I've never super been called to doing a lot of red tents. I participated in a few red tents over the year, but one really exciting thing, I love the red tent movement. I think it's a beautiful movement. Any movement that gets women into temples, hanging out, talking about our sacred bodies, talking about our sacred processes, talking about our sacred moon cycles, talking about anything that has to do with being a woman is profoundly needed and has been a big battle cry of mine for the last 15, 16, almost 20 years of my life. So super excited about that. And I'm more excited that my dear friend, Greta Hassel, she's been hosting the Red Tent Los Angeles. And she was with me this weekend at a fun event that Rano and I host called the Magical Overnight for couples, experience for couples. And she shared with me the amazing news that literally in yesterday's LA Times, the Sunday edition, this was wrapped around all the newspapers. So literally the town, Los Angeles, the whole city of Los Angeles was literally painted red in all the newsstands and all the news boxes all over the city, with this being on the front page, which is, oops, tricky trying to do this on camera, which is inside, go this way, inside the red tent. And it's a full page spread, and then a whole other page spread inside with more pictures and more information on this movement. It is epic, ladies. Like, this is a huge, huge thing, that our movements are becoming worthy of the news, that our movements are getting front page coverage, and that our movements are growing and women are gathering. And this is so big because we as women, when we gather, magic happens. When we're able to share what's going on with us, we are able to have the rocket fuel to lead our lives. In the last 2 days, I've had an amazing experience, even witnessing a family member of mine, one of my nieces, really get the importance of sisterhood and that she needs to step into sisterhood. Now, she's just 20 years old, so she's just getting her life off the ground, but she decided to not go to college and actually start her own business, which is pretty powerful for a young woman to do that. And she's recently packed up all her belongings, have been traveling across the country with her boyfriend, and they've been landing here with us in Los Angeles, and they've attended a few of our events, which are geared towards couples. I mean, I have my women's events too, and so much has come through for her and her man. And a typical storyline that often happens when we don't have sisterhood, or when we're lacking sisterhood, or we're not gathering with women frequently, is that we put a lot of that needs that we have that could be met by the sisterhood into our relationships. And those needs can not be met fully by a man or a partner. Not one person can fill the needs of a woman. We women got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. And so one of the things that she was working with is the desire to have more women in her life, and noticing in her relationship where her man was feeling overwhelmed, and my man has often felt overwhelmed, trying to hold space for me and all my too muchness and all my not enoughnesses and all my bignesses and all my smallnesses and everything in between. And until I personally created sisterhood for me, it was really making my relationship harder and making things harder on my man. So I just wanted to throw that little bit of wisdom in too, because the importance of gathering with women on a regular basis is massively transformational. And we as women, we need a lot of support So do men. I'm going to speak about that in a second. Men need a lot of support as well, but they have various ways of supporting themselves in certain arenas. Things are changing on that front. Again, I'll talk about that in a second. I'm actually really excited about how things are changing on that front. But for us ladies, if we are not gathering regularly with women, we are basically doing ourselves a huge disservice, and we're struggling a lot more than we have to, and we're processing more emotion than we need to, because when we have sisters to hold us through anything, our highs, our lows, and everything in between, life is just better. I literally have 3 women's groups that I gather with weekly, on a weekly basis for an hour or more. Mostly 2 of them are an hour, and another one's 90 minutes because there's 6 women in that group, and there's 4 in the other 2 groups, 4 total. And I don't know where I'd be without that. Like, I got a lot going on. I'm up leveling. I'm changing the world. I'm communicating powerful messages. I got friends galore with stuff happening. I'm doing 3 businesses. I've got a mega evolutionary relationship. I've got family that sometimes is a little bit dramatic. I got stuff. And without having women in my life to hold me through these transformations, transitions, all of the above, it can get really tricky. So this is a shout out to sisterhood. This is a shout out to my dear friend Greta Hassel. This is a shout out to all of the brave women who've been willing to gather in honor of our sacred cycles, in honor of sisterhood. So I'm very excited. So before I close, I want to speak to what's happening with the men. So Rano and I, my husband, for those of you that don't know, have started this movement and community for couples specifically called Eden. Really, it's all about coming back into wholeness. And it's ultimately going to be a private membership for visionary couples where we can come and we can hang out with other couples and we can do the work together and we can be held. Because one of the things I like to say is all of us in the world are out there, we're trying to hold it together, hold it together, hold it together. But what if we held it together? Makes it much easier, right? Many hands makes light work. So in a relationship, it's really important that all of your eggs are not in one basket, right? Like I just spoke to my niece and the situation where she needs sisterhood to hold her so her man doesn't have to hold so much for her or with her. Well, the same is true for any relationship. To hold your own container and be a single silo of a container of 2 people, and to do the work it takes to stay in committed relationship and look at our own core wounds that of course get activated by being in relationship, well, it's a lot for any 1 or 2 people to handle. So when your relationship can be held in a greater container of other relationships who are all going towards the same vision of a peaceful heaven on earth world, loving deeply, being witnessed deeply, sharing vulnerably, having super passionate, playful, joyful, pleasureful connections and intimacy and sex with your beloved, there's a lot going on in that. And when you can be held by a tribe that holds that container and won't let you walk away unless it's really at your both highest, is so epic. It's so epic. It has done so much for Rano and I. You know, we don't do anything small. As some of you know me. We don't do anything small. And to have a community of high level, high conscious, high frequency beings who are also committed to being the best they can be for themselves and their other beloved is one of the most profound containers that I've ever actually stepped into. And in fact, this weekend, we held one of our magical overnights, as I just mentioned, which is kind of a mini version of our Eden. It's what helped seed and grow Eden. We had a new couple that came, and they're literally 6 weeks in, and the man was just gushing. He felt so held, and so did everybody. And part of what had everybody feel so held is that Rano and the men of Eden have been gathering on a regular basis, and they have been doing the deep work of loving each other and seeing each other and holding each other and evolving each other and letting it all just like hang out and not trying to dominate or, you know, get their egos in the way. I'm sure it happens, but, and the brotherhood has grown so strong that they separated from the women and gathered right before we went into the evening portion of this gathering. And they set this container of that we're all going to look out for each other. We're going to look out for the safety of the women. We're going to look out for if any of you are getting wonky or sort of wanting to maybe like get a little, creepy vibe or overstep your boundaries, we're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to love you, and we're going to call you up and call you in to yourself. And that set such a profound container for this gathering, and the women felt so safe and so free. And so it's happening. The men are starting to gather in a whole new paradigm context as well, and that is making a huge difference. So if you don't have that type of community right now, if you are yearning for that type of community, come be with me. You're here in the Pussy Collective. Like, we'll get the sisterhood rocking even more. But just know that it's out there, and that it is possible. And there are amazing men who are committed to doing the work and who are gathering in droves. And if you have a man that you want to connect up with us, just reach out to me. They're all, those gatherings, even though they're based in a core tribe of an existing community called Eden, all men are welcome to come and be in the brotherhood. So I can certainly share more information. So just send me a private message or post something below this video, and I'll do my best to connect or send you information on the men's movement. If you've got a lover or a brother or a father or anybody, even a coworker or anybody, a friend that you feel would benefit from being in brotherhood, just say the word, and we'll let them know when things are happening. And for you, dear ladies, stay connected here in the sisterhood. I have a call happening actually tomorrow. So if you're watching this on today's the 6th, May 6th. So if you're watching this on the proper day, Monday, know that tomorrow, Tuesday the 7th, at 1 p.m., I have a free call that I'm offering. There's a link to that call somewhere on this Pussy Collective page. I'll post it below too. But basically, I'm doing a free call to talk about debunking the myths of female ejaculation. And I'm really excited to share what I've discovered about that. And then, of course, I have my 2-part class that starts the following Tuesday. So I'm going to pave the way for the class and give some information and get to the kind of nitty-gritty. And then, of course, if you want to join the free call, or if you want to join the free call, that's tomorrow. If you want to join the actual 2-part class, it's only $99, and I'm offering a 2-for-1. So if you have a sister that you want to take it with, a friend, a sister like a soul sister or a sister, a friend, a mother, anybody, if you want to join in, just grab her, somebody buy it, and you guys just split it and just send me the contact information for both of you. Yay, I got some hearts for that. So, I just want this information super accessible. I want more women to be able to understand the divinity and sacredness that lies within us, and how much pleasure and surrender can bring about more juicy love and light and waters and sacred waters, and we can experience this together, and we can heal the world together. And I'm going to share all about that starting tomorrow at 1 on my free call, and then go deeper in the class that starts on the 14th. So hopefully you can join me. For those of you that live locally, if you want to come and join me, Greta and I have partnered up, and this Saturday, May 11th, we're going to be offering an in-person red tent gathering. It's her movement, or it's her gathering, and she's invited me in as the guest expert. And I'm going to be talking about, of course, my favorite topic, pussy, secrets of the universe. Actually, I'm going to be awakening women in a very simple and easy and non-confrontational way to the divinity, the beauty, the majesty of our sacred portals. So all in the held by the Red Tent Temple movement. So I'm very excited. So much is moving through the collective. So much is moving through me right now. I can't wait to share more with you. Hopefully next week I can go back in history and share some of the pieces along the way. And you can actually get the chronological story of the unbelievable story of how I got here, or something new might pop up, and I'll share that. But tune in next Monday, every Monday at 3:33 p.m. Pacific for my MoonDay Musings, and I look forward to hopefully seeing and hearing from some of you on the call tomorrow, and maybe some of you will be with us on Saturday in person. All right, everybody, lots and lots and lots of love. Have a wonderful, wonderful Moon Day. Ciao.